This is
Live and unbridled.
unbridled.
Unbridled and ungroomed.
Oh, there you go. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, everything's working. Cool. Good news. I always love it when things are working. What do you think, Zark?
Yo.
Um, I'm going to.
Could you imagine if someone's like, I can translate cat, and they're like, what? You can speak cat? It's like, yeah. Here, let me translate. And the cat meows, and he goes, I think it said meow.
Zarko
And
doesn't
it turns
really
out that's all
meow,
that cats are
so
actually just saying. They're just saying meow.
she does play fetch. She loves it. Hey everybody,
Yo.
welcome to Roll Saying Games. My eye all of a sudden is itchy. Okay, now it's not. We're good. Woo! Wow, what a time! What a time to be alive. Um, customary throat killer. How's everybody doing today? Great news. We're gonna
Me, me,
be
me, 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 me,
battling
me.
some
You,
brothers.
you, 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 you.
Gabe, give me your best
Brothers.
brothers.
Battling brothers.
Yeah, you're
How's that?
that's amazing. I love it. I love it so much.
Could also be battling brothers.
Yep. Battling brothers. I'm playing fetch with my cat. So
Butling breathers.
if you see me lean down, it's to play fetch with my cat. I have very fortunately gotten a job. So
Woo!
yeah, so
Round of applause, everybody.
I'm doing the work
Claps in
thing.
chat.
Congrats. I'm doing the work thing, but that means I don't get to see my cat as much, which is the absolute worst part about having a job. Um, oh no, and my cat threw up on my floor, and I just noticed it. Well,
Oh no!
yeah, well, but she wants to play fetch right now, so we're playing fetch, and I'm not gonna show uh, the cat puke on camera.
But how will we be immersed?
I know. I'll send everybody a scratch and sniff.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's immersion if I ever heard it.
yeah. Olfactory memories are stronger, so
Oh yeah.
that's important. Hello, tree. Thank you for waving.
That's
We're
why
gonna play.
food is so important.
We're gonna play battle brothers. Gabe, give me on a scale of 1 to 10 this mustache right here.
Uh
Oh, I know
oh
you have the
my.
delay.
I would say
You can't even see my pointer.
I can guess which mustache you're pointing at.
There's
I
only
can
one
guess which mustache
mustache.
you're pointing
Yeah.
at. Yeah. Which is what I'm assuming. I would give that a 6
Yeah.
because it's not super complex.
Right.
It is very standoffish. Like that is a mustache that your eye is just drawn to.
Yeah. It's definitely a. It's
Uh,
definitely a. It really splits the face, which I
it's
personally.
also it's also like it's multicultural because it's both giving me like Middle Eastern and Danny Trejo at the same time.
Right. Which that's
I'm imagining Danny Trejo playing a Middle Easterner right now.
classic. Unfortunately, classic situation.
Classic.
This dude over to the right. First off, very
He's
weak,
very surprised.
very weak armpit hair relative to beard and chest hair. Right.
Oh, and some of his chest hair, I think, is just smoke.
Right, which is why it's smoky. It's got that smoky flavor. Which is why I'm not trying to body shame him. I'm trying to
Mm.
celebrate him because I'm pretty sure that he shaves his armpits regularly.
Or maybe he grooms his armpits. He doesn't fully shave it.
Right, just a nice armpit grooming. Well, we're gonna play some Battle Brothers, and so the first thing I'm gonna ask, while you're working on some financial stuff, is everybody, if you're in chat and you want to name a brother after you or after somebody else, please know about this game that everyone dies. And with that
Yeah.
caveat and that knowledge, name a brother after your mortal enemy. Like, just tell us who we should name our brothers, and we'll do it. So I'm gonna click
Yes.
new campaign. So here's the thing about Battle Brothers. If you didn't know, we played it once before on the Role Saying Game stream, and immediately I was like, "This is absolutely a game that I know, me personally, I will love." But also, it is very complicated. It is beyond what I have capacity to do now. So here's what happened. Fell in love with it off screen, and now I'm gonna bring to you all of my awareness and expertise of how to be an expert bruther. I have two younger brothers myself, so I have practiced not only in game
Yeah.
but out of game. So I feel very confident about my brotherhood. Um, and I just want to bring that. I want to bring that knowledge to you. But what we also want to do is we want to talk about, as I've told you before, role saying games is going to get more personal. We're going to talk more about the shtick that's going on in our lives. And one of those things we're going to talk about today is burnout, which I think is great because this grenade is so close to burning out right now.
It's been burning for like how long have you been live? 3 minutes? 4 minutes?
Yeah, the problem is it's about to
6
burn
minutes?
in.
No. Burn in, I think, might actually be worse than burnout. I
Yeah.
don't know though.
So
Not an expert on that on burn in.
right. So
Isn't
so
that
that's
when
what,
like you leave the channel on like the waiting the TV on the waiting thing and you burn in
yeah.
the logo of the TV?
Yeah. Hugs to you, option rule.
Also
Thank
not
you
good.
for the hugs. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna rebuild the company. We're talking about burnout. This is kind of a natural extension. Last week we talked about like the things that we celebrated that have gotten us through through kind of the last craziness of the last 9 months or so. Now we're going to talk about burnout. Gabe and I have experienced this in all sorts of different creative endeavors, so I think we're going to bring that to the table. But please, please, please share if any of this speaks to you. If at any point you have anything that you want to add to the conversation, please go over into the commentos and share a memento.
A memento of your commento.
Yes, thank you for
Comment.
putting together what I was trying to put down. So first we're gonna go through. I want Gabe, you're gonna have to choose which banner is the most burnouty for you.
Okay.
These banners in
Right.
this game are awesome, so I want to just flip
Start
through all of them.
scrolling.
Yeah,
I remember them being like there were a couple that were like, ooh, really pretty, and then they got gratuitously intense
yeah,
very quickly, which I'm all about.
right.
Let's see. Ooh. Oh, that's tasteful.
Yeah, we're gonna go through all these once, and then I'm gonna let you add your commentary, but having in mind a burnout in mind.
Oh, that sun one was lovely. That's sticking in my
Right.
mind. Not really burnouty though. Yeesh.
Okay. So we've made it through. We've cycled through all of the logos. I know you're gonna have some delay because I didn't share my screen.
So I already have my decision.
Okay. Give it to me.
I already have my decision,
Give-
and it is entirely because you can actually scroll backwards to it. I imagine because it was near the end.
Yep.
It was the purpley heart one with all the barbed wire and
Yep.
intensity around it.
Yep. Got it.
Especially because for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, burnout often happens to the things that I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's the thing that you're really excited about, that you love, and then something goes a little south or gets stale.
Yeah.
And so it's the My Chemical Romance style, like daggers over your purple heart.
Yeah. The Mr. Can I have more style? The
Can I
MCR.
have
Oh wait,
more?
MCR. Mr. Can I have respite from my love of burnout?
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, I brought it all together. I'm bringing it real hard tonight. Okay, so we're gonna name our company. We're gonna name our What are we naming our company?
Hmm. Can you do special characters?
No.
You know, have a fancy keyboard with special characters on them. uh, role slaying games.
Yeah, there we go.
Roll with the burn.
We're gonna be role slaying burn.
Role slaying burn.
Burnouts. Role
Oh
slaying
no!
burnouts.
Feel the burn.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, if anybody has any names for the brothers, I've got Zoom. One of the brothers will be called Zoom. Please just throw names in chat. Throw names all day.
Yes. Let our mostly Alon's battle brother deaths be cathartic for you.
Yeah. Here we're gonna do a quick vote between beginner and veteran. Now let me tell, and we'll do expert at a future stream if you guys want to just see me get canoofled.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We're going to do it from beginner to veteran. Let me tell you. So right now I've been playing on veteran Iron Man. That's how I've been playing. And I have not beaten this game on that difficulty. It is real heckin' hard. And you have a high chance of losing. I think I haven't really
Exactly does
gone
Iron Man mean?
too far with beginner Iron Man. Just because I've been playing the veteran a lot. But if we want to have a longer, fun campaign, where people are less likely to be dying regularly than we do beginner. But if you want to have a more exciting, people can die at any moment, then we do veteran. So I'm going to let chat vote on that. Please put beg if you want to beg for beginner. Please put vet if you have vetted this show and found it to be ran well.
If you have vetted this show.
Yeah, that's my
Or if you're a
wordplay for the
veterinarian.
A veterinarian, yeah. Gabe, do you have a preference while people are
Veteran veterinarians. So what exactly is Iron Man? I don't know what that means.
Iron Man means that so it doesn't really matter if you're it's supposed to keep you honest. So it means you can't load something if something goes bad for you. Like you can't save scum is what people call it, where it's if something goes bad, you load an old save. So I always do Iron Man just because it's more fun. It's more fun for me. It all depends on how you want to play. I don't think, let me make this real clear. I do not think that there's a right and wrong way to play games. Like if you're having fun, you bought it. It's for you. Have fun. But I enjoy playing Iron Man.
Yeah.
So
my vote would be for beginner. Just because I like smoothness of gameplay.
Right.
But veteran will be very fun to watch characters named Zoom die.
Right. Right now we're having nobody pop up in chat. I see we have a bunch of people, but nobody's popping up to say what they want. We have people need to start naming our characters more. Our viewers, our fellow brothers. What do you think? Beginners or veterans? Optional rule, Glowcon, Miss Dogbear.
Veteraners.
Well, Gabe, it seems like you have the vote.
I love Dogbear. That's a great.
Would you like
is it Dogbear or Dogbert? I want to know.
I'm not sure, but I like Dogbear because as a French named person, I just kind of Frenchitize everything.
Yeah, and it's like Colbert and all that good
right
stuff.
Exactly.
Also, I'm not signed into my my Twitch, and I don't know what the password is, so I'm just gonna watch chat.
Yeah. As you can see, it's dog Bert usually, but answers to almost anything. So I'm gonna Frenchitize your name to Dogbear.
Le Bouf.
Yeah. Optional rule says the ruling of whether we go veteran or beginner is optional to us. So, Gabe, sure. you have the floor.
I must say, beginner.
Okay. We'll do.
But I don't want you thinking too hard about your choices.
Well, okay, cool.
Like
fair.
a barbarian.
We'll do beginner combat. We'll up the economic difficulty.
There we go.
And then we'll do high starting funds just because it's easier to get started. Sometimes you just die immediately because you don't have enough money. This is a hard game. It's fun. It says right here. Here's our disclaimer. Battle Brothers is a challenging game. Losses and comebacks are part of the gameplay. It's recommended that you start with beginner brother difficulty and the tutorial origin. So there you go.
Brother.
Tip. Geists are lost between the physical world and the world beyond, constantly shifting between the two. There's your tip. Now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah, Geists are trouble. They're hard. The last battle. It all went wrong. 2 days ago, the company was hired to track down Hogart the Weasel and his band of raiders, but it was them who found you first. An ambush. Some joke about horses cut short by an arrow to the throat. Arrows shooting in from everywhere and nowhere. Men holler and scream a great volume before death. As the hail subsides, you draw your weapon and with the rest of the men, your brothers, only to collapse to your knees. An arrow has punctured your side. You shout in pain. A hurried glance sees the men charge without you to make a valiant last stand. Met in force as steel clashes with steel. You meet eyes with the captain. A last nod before his throat is cut. You're left in command now of what few men remain. Trembling in pain, you lean on your sword, and with all the will you can muster, slowly rise again.
Slowly.
So here it is, last battle to the end. These are our starting brothers. They might die. They're awesome. They might die at some point. Like that guy just got his head chopped off. That's not great. This guy's probably not going to do... Oh, nope. Throat. Oh, it happens to the best of them. But these are our starting brothers. So what we're going to do now... Let me remember how I'm supposed to... There we go. Okay, great. I'm going to shoot a crossbow bolt at... Let's see. I'm gonna probably... choose the guy without a shield. Oh, got him. Reload my crossbow bolt. I'm going to move. I think, if I remember right...
If I remember right, this game has so much strategy.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on. And it's snowy, so I can't move far. Okay, that's right. It's harder to move in the snow. So while this stuff is going on, if anybody has any questions about Battle Brothers as we're playing, and you'd like me to give you some
Burnout Brothers,
older brother advice, then you can let me know. But until then, we're gonna probably talk a little bit about some Burnout. Zarko just brought me something to shoot. Also, please in chat, leave me some names of people who you want to be a brother who might die. I already have Zoom and Banker. Those are gonna be our first two brothers.
I love it.
Yeah. If you want to give them last names or titles like Banker the Unfair or something, you can also do that. You just let me know.
Zoom and Banker.
Yeah. So
the fools.
Gabe, we're talking about some
about the lovely frustrations of Burnout.
The lovely frustrations of Burnout. Thank you. Jump us off. What do we give me some real talk.
I would say one of the big things with Burnout, one of the staples of it is that it's always like there's like stages, from what I understand.
Right.
Stages of Burnout. And the first one, it's the best. It's the best stage of Burnout because that's the one where you're about to do something new for the first time. Like you're starting out a new project, or you're writing a new adventure, or you're working on a new song or whatever. And then, there's the slow trickle where it's all of a sudden there's one day that was a little bit harder than the previous, and then maybe it goes back to normal. Then it tilts back into some days are a little bit harder than others,
Yeah.
and it's that knowledge. And then there's this sort of tipping point where it starts to slide, and this can happen in pretty much any artistic endeavor. It can happen at work. I'd say I'm very grateful. I don't think I've ever had, like, with regular jobs.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever experienced burnout, like when I worked at Kroger or any kind of places like that.
Right.
I wasn't necessarily excited, but I never had that drag, like work kind of feel.
Right.
Um, Although,
Uh,
actually, now that I think about it, because I don't always think about when I was a literacy tutor. That was 2 years ago.
uh-huh.
Um, I loved every second of working with those kids. I did not enjoy any of the corporate stuff with that job.
Yeah.
And that caused some serious burnout because there were times where it's like it would literally take me maybe 20 minutes to fill out a timesheet.
Right.
But it would take me 20 minutes to get to that timesheet. Just because of how frustrated and annoyed I was at all the other little things that I had to do. And burnout causes the little bitty things slowly take longer and longer until you're only spending all of your time on the steps that take you to the hard part.
Yeah.
And the hard part's no longer fun. Like, I love writing, whether it be poetry or music or wacky RPG adventures.
Right.
But if I can never get into that flow zone because I'm constantly dragging through just getting started,
Right.
then the process becomes less and less fun, and eventually you get burnt out.
Yeah, that sounds right. Real quick, a quick question I had. Flow Zone, does that have anything to do with the Progressive Auto Insurance commercials?
Not quite.
Okay.
I mean, that might have been part of the reason why they picked that name. But flow zones from I'm not sure who coined it, but or who came up with that phrase way back. But when it comes to artistic endeavors, flow zone, especially, like for me, when I'm working on the podcast or making a song or working with audio in general, when there's a level of proficiency with something, where you're good at it and you know all the pieces,
Right.
but it's also not, you're not so masterful of it and it's not so simple that it's now trivial. When it's somewhere in the middle there, you'll hit a flow zone because you're constantly challenging yourself. You're doing something that you know is is tricky.
Right.
It takes thought constantly. I love always challenging myself with the podcast and trying to do something new with every episode.
Right.
Although I'm not always trying to do something complexly new. But there will be times where I will have like issue after issue after issue, and I will notice whether or not I'm in the flow zone, because if I'm in that zone, issue after issue after issue is followed by solution after solution after solution.
Right.
I'm able to troubleshoot so much more quickly, so much more efficiently. There's one night where I can't remember what, I was trying to record something, but I couldn't use my normal recording equipment because it's kind of locked in place in my room now.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to move it, but I also didn't want to use it because the thing I had to record was kind of loud and people were asleep already.
Right.
So there's a problem, but then immediately I thought of the solution. Well, I have a pretty good microphone on my phone and I don't need high fidelity audio for this.
Right.
So I could record it on my phone. So I go into another room downstairs, pull out my phone, do a couple recordings on Facebook Messenger, just message them to myself. And then I come back up to my computer, open up Facebook, and then I'm like, oh wait, how the heck do I download from out of a Facebook chat? And I quickly searched it, found out that if you go through, if you're on a web browser on a computer and you go through the mobile version of Facebook, you can download audio files.
Yeah.
However, it downloads it as a very strange format. And so putting a very strange format into a already packed full Logic session on my computer could stall the session because now it has to convert the audio. So I'm like, all right, here's another problem. Now I need to convert it. So I go and I remember that iTunes is a free multi-file converter. I don't know if anyone knows this, but if you have audio files that you need converted to just about any other kind of audio file, you can do it for free through iTunes. All you have to do is just set the encoder, and you can convert audio files. So I bring it in there, convert it, bring it back out, bring it into the Logic session, and boom, I was done. That was a lot of steps. And I didn't realize, but I did all of that in about 25 minutes of time. Which to me, like when I was done with it and talking and thinking about it later, I was impressed. I was like, that was a lot of work and a lot of thought that went very smoothly.
Right.
But the flip of that, in times when I'm experiencing burnout, and burnout can it can bleed, I think is a better word. It can bleed into lots of other things.
Right.
I'll be trying to finish an adventure that I had started months ago. And the frustration of not being able to just put one more paragraph down, or writing a paragraph and immediately going, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Or won't work, or wow, I used the word that 9 times.
Right.
And that frustration, then going to try and work on something else creative, like the podcast, I'll come to a moment where somebody, I don't know, talks over another person. And that's a really easy solution, but all of a sudden my ability to deal with it is dropped.
Yeah.
And it takes me much longer just to do that simple task. What is going on in this game?
Yeah, let me catch you up. So,
I'm watching, and I was trying to keep up, and now I don't know.
yeah, so here's what happened. We started out, we had the final battle with this mercenary, but the mercenary who was the head of that group ran away during that battle. So now we have been tasked with a quest to put together a band of mercenaries to go and hunt down the guy who ran away, who was the leader of the bandits who killed everyone we knew and loved. So we have our original people. It's Volker, Wolfram, who is short-sighted, Erland. Those are our original people. Erland's irrational.
Sounds good.
And then we added some companions now. We've added Zoom the Crashes. He is a wild man.
Wild man.
Yeah, we added Banker the Grossly Incompetent. I ran out of space on his name title.
He's perfect.
So yeah, we got that.
The gross.
He is a beggar and a weasel, which seemed, that's why, mainly because he had the characteristic trait of weasel. I felt like that was, yeah.
So do you meet people and then just assign them a name?
You can, so they have their own name. Like this guy was Hartvig the Messenger already.
Yeah.
And he's also a weasel and a messenger. He's got eagle eyes, got good vision. But you meet them and you have to recruit them, and then you can figure out Jess Gross is lovely. Okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe we Banker the Gross. If you decide that works well or doesn't work well, we can always change it. So yeah, so I can change people's names, but they have names that they originate with. So yeah, this is our opening party. We're gonna do okay. If I was playing on, here's the thing. So I'm about to go to, I'm finishing this quest, right? And I'm gonna have to go and hunt down this mercenary guy. So I've played this game enough times to know if I was with the group that I have now, if I went on the next difficulty level and tried to hunt him down, we would probably die. But I think I'm going to be okay on this difficulty level.
Yeah. And
So,
dog Bert, dog bear.
Dog Bear.
Yes, spoons is an excellent way of I mean the whole spoon system has been a fantastic way to I guess describe quite a lot of things when you have limited resources of a metaphysical or intangible thing. And yeah, running out of spoons, that's a very fast way to hit burnout.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have the energy to do the thing, and so doing the thing that may already be moderately frustrating is even more frustrating.
Yeah.
That's definitely like I try to I really try to make sure that I give myself time for like self-care. Give myself time to recuperate. But there's just this constant mentality that will, and I don't know if I feel like some other people do suffer from this, suffer being a pretty fair word for it, where you feel you have to keep working because you can. And there's a lot of things where it's like, I could keep doing this project. This is technically a personal project, or I could keep doing this thing that my friend asked me to do because I'm fully capable of doing it. And so I feel obligated with that ability, even though it's draining me very quickly. I definitely do that way too much. And I'm getting better with certain things. Like informing people of, no, I am not able to do this at the moment. Yes, I am very busy.
Protecting your time and protecting your remaining spoons, you mean?
Yes, being very protective of your spoons and your sanity.
Yeah.
Sanity spoons.
Yeah. Yeah, the sanity spoons are in the new what Cthulhu game.
Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a great way to do that. Sanity spoons is the replenishable item.
Yeah.
For sanity.
Yep.
That is definitely going in. I'll make a note for Inver for that.
Sanity spoon. No.
Sanity spoons.
Sanity
you find a box of eldritch silverware.
Mm-hmm.
And as you stare deeper and deeper into the spoon, while you see your reflection warp and change, your mind strangely begins to feel more at ease, as though a semblance of reality is returned to you.
Bum, bum, bum.
And as illustrated just then, even when you're experiencing burnout, while escapist activities and starting new projects and stuff like that are ways of, handling that and dealing with it, it shouldn't be your, at least in my experience, it should not be my main way to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
so you're saying that is something that you sometimes reach for, but it is not a solution.
yes, I will often try and do something different creatively.
Mm-hmm.
But very quickly find that this other thing that I want to do creatively is going to take a lot of time and energy, which I unfortunately need to be spending on certain obligations. Like I can allocate an hour here or 2 hours or an afternoon.
Is it the I can, but that doesn't mean I should?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
I can definitely give a bunch of time to just binge watching an anime.
Right.
But, and I think the whole binge watching, I've always found that as a humorous, an unfortunate term for it, because that is very much what it is, and
Right.
binge is not a good word. It is a
Right.
pejorative word.
It has a very negative connotation for sure.
And for a reason, because binging a show means that you are spending a lot of consecutive, probably hours on it.
Yeah.
Like if you're binging episodes of Italia, that's, you're probably okay, because I think that show's what, 5-6 minutes long,
Yeah.
maybe 11 minutes and 11 seconds. No, that's Steven Universe was 11 minutes and 11 seconds. But still, I could probably watch a bunch of 5-minute episodes and still only sink half an hour.
Right.
But like if someone really likes British media and those episodes happen to be an hour and 20 minutes long,
Right.
and
Those
you're
Brits
like,
are
let's watch 3
crazy.
of them, that's probably not a good use of your time. Always. I mean, sometimes if you want to do a movie marathon, do a movie marathon by all means. I am not knocking movie marathons at all.
I know for me, I don't get a lot of positive energy out of binge watching something, but I know that Lauren does, my partner. So it's one of those things where like I know people are obviously people are different. We don't need to like,
Yes.
but yeah, I think it is important though. What you're getting at, it's important to identify. By the way, I killed Hogarth.
No.
Erlen the sniper
Hogarth.
spit on the dead man's face. There you go.
How rude.
Well, he's dead. He doesn't care. I do think it is important for everybody to identify the things that allow them to reset spoons.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, like if don't feel like to feel not feel drained.
Yes. Because I think for me, while I enjoy watching shows and movies and things like that, there are a lot of shows and movies where I spend a good portion of that time analyzing it, understanding like the writing tropes and the acting styles and the voices used and things like that.
Yeah.
Which sort of turns it back into work for me, but it also helps me feel that I am utilizing my time well.
Yeah.
It helps me justify the entertainment, which probably is the fact that I had to use the word justify is indicative of probably not the most healthy mind space for that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a comment from Miss Dogbird again. Sometimes I tell people I can give them 5 to 10 minutes for fires, but we'll need to get back with for sustained effort.
I was going to agree with that. Of just like I have found that if I tell somebody like I need efficiency, people are really good at being efficient. I think for anything, like not just problems or fires, but communication. For if sometimes if it just people are understanding. I think a lot of times we have this fear, especially in I grew up in Southern culture, this fear that you're going to inconvenience someone by taking what you need for yourself, like as far as your energy and time.
Yeah.
But I've found, and I might just be lucky because I'm a white male, but I've found that people are pretty accommodating when I've been like, hey, I've done it to Gabe. I don't know how many times I've done it to you where I'm like, hey, man, I got like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Got 15 minutes. Let's do this thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right.
And then if we get it done, great. And we usually are very efficient with that time. And if we don't, I'm like, okay, we'll jump back to this when I can be there, like fully here.
Yeah, and I find that as that particular like time allocation.
Yeah.
What's the word? Almost more endearing. Like I can see that the person is busy, but willing to kind of like that phrase, and I try to use this phrase very intentionally, making time.
Yeah.
Where you can make time for something or someone.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can always make a lot of time.
Yeah.
But like I had a friend just a couple minutes, about an hour before we even started this, message me asking if I could spare a moment to help them with a interesting role playing dilemma that they're having with their characters and some NPCs. And I'm like, yeah, I can always make. I'm happy to make time for you. And he sent me the thing, and I read it while I was doing some other stuff. And I made sure that I was not. I did make sure this time that I was not multitasking to the point that I was dropping my efficiency with one thing or my productivity with
Right.
one thing. But yeah, like to be able to make time, I can make 15 minutes. I can move things around, so I can give you 5-10 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I like the phrase "making time better" because I think it conveys it does convey like exactly what you said, the importance of it to me, like for somebody to say, hey, yeah, I've got this for you, like because we're friends, but I'm low energy or whatever. I like when people just tell me where they're at, like meet me where you're at,
Yeah,
and I'll meet you where I'm at, and we can go from there. Like that's something I really obviously appreciate, because then you're also operating on a understand, like a level of understanding.
yeah. Mutual understanding of what materials each person has to work with.
Yeah.
If I'm not in a good place and you're not in a good place, then we both understand that and
Yeah.
can work towards something together, as opposed to, hey, I'm not in a good place, and the other person's like, oh, well, I'm in a fantastic place. I can cover you. I got this.
Yeah.
But then secretly, they're in a bad place.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
What is revenge, sleep, procrastination?
I think this is something that I've
That is terrifying sounding, and I
yeah, I actually, you know what? If you could give us some more clarity on that one,
Yeah.
man sedan, I would love some clarity on that one. What my
the man
thought
of
is,
Sedan.
what my thought is that it is when you like drive yourself anxious to the point where you don't sleep, and then you sleep for like 18 hours or something. That's my thought, with no other context.
But what's the revenge part? Is like the sleep is coming back with a vengeance?
That's a good question.
Or is it like I don't uh uh I I I helped you out this time, but next time you need me, I will be sleeping.
Yeah, you owe me sleep. If that
Just
is your
go
real
to a
name.
friend's house and sleep on their bed.
Yeah.
You owe me 50 minutes of sleep.
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm curious if you don't mind expounding on that in chat. I know for me, ways that I deal with when I am out of spoons, probably one of my number one thing is spend time with my cat. Even when she doesn't want me to, we just kind of like lay there. We sit there. I try to be really present when I'm doing that, like just aware of her and our surroundings. And Mansadan replied. I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But the other things I do, I like cooking, trying to be mindful and present of a thing. So I'm not when I get anxiety, a lot of times it's not that I'm dwelling on the past or on the future, but that I'm dwelling on all the things that I feel I should be doing in the instant. And a lot of that comes from both kind of like the stress that I put on myself of when I was younger, I had this whole deal of like I needed to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
And I burned out many, 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 many times because that was my motivation of why I should be doing things, is I got to prove people wrong. And that's not turned out for me. Let me make it clear that it might be something that's very productive and useful for other people. But for me, what it does is it drives me to really burn myself out on stuff frequently.
Yeah.
And that drive, like was bad. So what I've done now is I've kind of tried to hit this consistent space where I operate within what my spoon capacity is and what my like play capacity is, and I try really hard to kind of merge the two. It's funny because streaming, I'm going to get really honest here, really honest here for a second. Streaming is an interesting aspect because it uses spoons. There's a lot of energy that goes into this. I know recently people, when I watched, what's the name of that movie? It was really good. It was my first time ever watching it. Do you remember what this was?
The Princess Bride.
Yeah, Princess Bride. And I was live messaging about it, and people were like, you should stream this. You should stream your reaction. And what I realized in that moment is if I had streamed my reaction, then it would take spoons. And spoons that at that time I didn't have. I was live tweeting it. Tweeting on our Discord server. Join the Goblins and Growlers Discord server at goblinsandgrowlers.com. So I was live streaming it or messaging about it because that was what my capacity was to also like not be using spoons and enjoying that movie. But it's a difficult balancing act, right? Because you feel like you're letting somebody down, and I think sometimes it's yourself. You know, like if I'm not working on I don't know, any number of things that I could be working on right now.
Your audio's getting a little fuzzy.
My audio?
Yeah.
Is it still fuzzy?
Yes. Oh, got it.
Does it sound horrible?
No, it's perfect.
Okay. But what was I saying?
Streaming can sometimes be
be spoons, but also I love it. That's the reason why I'm streaming, and anything we do, honestly, with Goblins and Growlers especially, like I think we're always constantly fighting when it comes to content creation. You're constantly fighting your love of the thing, which goes back to the purple heart on our banner, and the difficulties sometimes when you're not in the headspace that makes it easy of getting through the thing. Right now, I love streaming. One, because I get to talk to you. Two, because people are chiming in and we get to learn about stuff like revenge sleep, which I'm really excited to read about.
Yeah.
And three, insert third point here. So we get to stab zombies to death in front of people.
And I would say like one of, in addition to those, my number 3 would be kind of like you were saying, get to stab zombies. I don't often play games for myself.
Yeah, I almost never do. Outside of sports
a lot of games
sims.
out there. Yeah, outside of sports management sims.
Yeah, sports management sims are my like my easiest turn my brain off and just be present and not focus on things. That's my easiest thing. I don't know if people know that about me, but I probably have, and this is super embarrassing, but I've vowed to be super honest and be very embarrassing about myself on this stream because it's more fun for me to do that. I probably have 1,000 hours, maybe more, in Football Manager, which is the soccer management game.
If I ever win a lottery, I will buy you a football team.
Yeah. You better be careful with that. Here, wait, real quick. I'm gonna be really embarrassed real quick. You guys ready for this? We're doing it live. And jump on here. Up, bring this
live
over
and
here.
direct.
So
it's actually in the background. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's all my football managers. If I click on them, I think they showed me hours played. So here's my caveat to this, because these are going to be an insane number of hours. There are times, and this is both good and bad to admit to. Actually, it's all bad to admit to. Let me be honest. There are times when I have fallen asleep playing this, and there are times when I just left it on overnight. That said, that is not a majority of the hours that we're going to see. So here we go. And this is, of course, when I started to play it just here on Steam. So we've got 428 here. We got
that's 2015.
1,900 here. We've got 2,200 here. We got 671 here, and I just got the new one. Oh no, this isn't even new. So there's 821 here. Then I just got the new one, and I've got 139 in it already.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So if you were wondering, oh wow, that Alon's such a cool person. I wonder how he spends his time. It must be super productive. It's 90% Football Manager, 10% trying to be really efficient with the rest of my time.
That's perfect. I love that.
It's I feel like it's what I do, man. It's who
Right.
I am.
I need to find a thing like that, because I think I spend a good chunk of that time, probably all the time that you're on your football managers. I'm searching for something. Like, I could probably play survival games for a
Yeah.
long time,
Yeah.
but I do feel like that off switch in my head
Yeah.
where it's like, Gabe, stop playing, do something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Football manager. I don't have that off switch. I commit 3,000%, and I just have said that's my turn off thing.
Yes,
It's mine.
and that's good.
Yeah, and it does give me energy, or it doesn't give me energy, but it doesn't take energy. It's a very neutral. Football manager for me is a very, like, I can just be present. It grounds me and allows me to kind of be peaceful. The thing that I do that's negative is I will sometimes when I get most stressed, I just turn off. That's when it's a problem. Like when I burnt myself off out to the point where I turn off, I try to take my circle as far as things that I engage with and interact with, and I shrink it.
Yeah.
And that gets to be a problem, because sometimes I need to be there for people. I mean, like, I don't mean need to be there as in like I have an obligation to be there for everybody or something, but I especially with the community we have, I know everybody would be very understanding if I said, hey, I don't have the energy right now, but I want to be able to be there to say, hey, I don't have the energy right now, rather than
Yeah.
yeah,
And just
exactly.
disappear.
Because I know everyone would understand. It's just it's about I want to be somebody who communicates better, and my biggest problem if I hit that stage of burnout is I stop communicating well.
Yeah. Yes. That could definitely be a thing with me. Uh really quick, and then I want to get to some of these comments, but uh I went through some pretty rough times a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that interaction that I was having was uh either over my phone, like whether it was text or messages or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or phone calls, or it was centered around communication, whether it was like painful communication, or a lack of communication, which then led to more anxiety. And I've noticed that sort of left a very lasting impression on me, that I don't like communicating virtually.
Yeah.
I love talking to people in person, and I will talk forever in person.
Right.
Um, and I can be very efficient in person, which is why I like phone calls more than I like texting.
Right.
But I realized that, we have a Discord server, there's people on Facebook, there's emails and all those things, and I need to be able to do that. But there is a part of me that actively does not want to send text messages or see text messages and things like that.
Right.
Partially because of that trauma, and partially because it feels removed.
Right.
And when I'm low on spoons, when I'm in an area of burnout or frustration,
Yeah.
yeah, I find it much harder to make myself care
Yeah. That's fair.
about phone-based communication.
Right.
Like, I could still, like, someone will send me a message and I'm like, oh no, can I call you? And they're like, yeah, please. I'm like, whew, thank heavens, because I was not going to respond otherwise.
Yeah. Texting definitely
Um,
uses more spoons for me than calling, for sure.
yeah,
I also am always worried that I'll be misinterpreted in words. I'm pretty
that was a big thing for me.
loquacious. I rather consider myself a verbal jouster and a wordsmith, but I consider myself that more of like as a verbal communicator.
Yeah. Well, that and when you're talking to somebody, you can hear their reaction. You can,
Yeah.
and especially if you're looking at them, you can see their reaction.
Yeah.
And you can tell that wasn't received correctly. But over text message, you can send a message and it's entirely up to how that person perceives it.
Right.
You have zero control over that.
Well, speaking of receiving something, Man Sedan received sent us some
Yes.
revenge sleep.
Revenge sleep procrastination is when you should go to sleep, but instead you just stay up and get some time to yourself. I definitely do this. Now that is clarified, there will be times after I finish an episode of the podcast or have just worked into the night, and it'll be 2, 3 in the morning. There's been a couple times where it was 5 or 6 in the morning, and I'll finish, and I'm like, I'm not tired enough to go to sleep, and I will read. Sometimes I'll watch a show, or I'll go down and I'll play Beat Saber for like 20 minutes.
Heck yeah.
I'll play Beat Saber until I'm performing poorly enough that I'm like, screw this game, it's broken.
I love that. Just because you're so tired?
Yes, because like my arms will just get tired and I can't hit the things correctly. I'm like, it's not me, it's clearly the game's sensors that are broken. I become very full of myself at 6 in the morning. Yes, Dr. Glaucon confirming as well. Totally does that. And Miss Dogbert, yes, there have been a few times. Role Saying Games has the very few times that we've not streamed, a few times where we've just like shifted our streams, a few more times that we've shifted our stream around or just streamed for different amounts of times based on our level of spoons and things like that. But like my lovely co-host up there was saying, we want to, like, this is not something that we feel at all obligated to do. Like, I know personally there are plenty of times where we will completely forget about the existence of this stream for a couple days, and then the reminder pops up and we're like, oh, like there's that mixture of excitement and terror, because it's like, yes, I'm excited to do this thing, but also I forgot.
Yeah
That's not good. But also, like, there is that excitement because it's partly like a challenge, like, all right, we have a couple minutes, what do we do? And then there are other times where we plan ahead and we don't have that, and those are also good times.
The most good times.
The most good is when procrastination isn't a thing.
Yeah, I don't do the avoid sleep thing. I've actually always been really good at sleep, which I've been very, very thankful for. But I occasionally.
That's why your hair is so nice.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for my, like, I hit the bed, I go to sleep. That's how I function. I know there's a lot of people who don't function like that, and yeah, I'm very grateful. But what I do sometimes is I sometimes work myself to not to like exhaustion, but to death. Like, especially when it comes to like working out. If I'm like really stressed, sometimes that's my outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And I like there's a I begin to have this bad thing where, because I feel like I'm being unproductive because I am burnt out on things, I decide that like I need to feel productive by feeling the burn in my physical self.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen as much anymore. It happened a lot more when I was in my young 20s, where that was like part of my deal.
Yes. Yeah, and you're like, I must run.
Yeah.
I must do the physical thing.
Yeah. But fortunately, I've gotten a lot better about that.
Yes, that is good.
Yeah.
And that's something I've seen a lot of people. Again, escapism.
Yeah, escapism.
It's a fantastic like form of dealing with something, of refreshing yourself.
Yeah.
But like literally anything, the word too much simply means too much. And doing escaping too much can and will be counterproductive.
It'll catch up to you.
It'll catch up. I know a couple people who love to run and run so much that they need the interesting athletic tape to hold their muscles together so that they can continue running.
Yeah.
And then they get the cool running clothes and they continue running. And then they they hurt their knee and they go to the doctor, and the doctor informs them that they've ground their joints into nothingness and they need to stop running.
Yep. So running is a weird one because running has been proven, that one specifically, like all working out gets you to this point, but running is a really easy way to get you to the point where your body's just releasing like tons of endorphins. You do hit that point.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's interesting because it allows you, I think, I've talked to a lot of people, and one of the things that running does for me is that I hit a point where I start to have how do I even say,
clarity?
I get to this point where like I exist in a stasis, and any thought that I have, I can dedicate my full thought to because my body's on autopilot.
Ah,
and it's something
like
that I don't really
flow
experience
zone
outside of running.
Yes. I have also experienced this during running.
Mm-hmm. I hate running. Let me make this real clear. I'm not a runner when it comes to. I know you look at me and you're like, "Well, that guy's definitely not a weightlifter either." But I'm somewhere in between those two things.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved running in high school. I was the only alternative kid that was good at it.
What? Can you please tell me?
So
wait, no, wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Alternative running. What would it be?
Alternative running.
Yeah, what would it be? You're the most qualified person to answer this.
I feel like alternative running, as with most running, is it's all about, because running's very simple.
Right.
It's just running. But like with video games and with a lot of other things, and especially alternative culture, it's how you augment it. Any form of alternative culture. So how you would augment the running, I would love to see somebody actually truly and non-ironically go running in like buckles and straps.
Bundle and strap running?
Yeah, like buckles, straps, the leather, the big tall boots.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. I know I used to go running outside of school sometimes, and I would always wear jeans. I strongly dislike wearing shorts.
Do you really? I didn't know this about you.
I generally will not wear shorts or anything that is shorter than just regular pants, unless I have to. Like, it's 200 degrees outside and I need to do physical work.
Right.
Or I'm going to a pool and need to wear pool wear.
Right. Why do you, if you don't mind me asking, why do you hate wearing shorts?
I think when I was younger, I would wear shorts a lot, but as I got older, there might have been like a moment where I was more self-conscious of my legs, maybe. Because the reason I say maybe is because I'm definitely not self-conscious of my legs now.
Right.
And I don't remember exactly there being a time, but I do remember that there was like there's sort of the feeling of vulnerability.
Right.
And I do know that like it's hard to tell if it's a justification or if it is part of the reason, but I love to go wandering in nature-like areas.
Right.
But I do not like nature touching me directly.
Right. Okay. Right.
like I don't love the idea of brambles scratching my legs open. And so
right.
I would wear long pants so that like when I would get I would walk home from school sometimes, and it was like a 50-minute walk.
Right.
But I would walk home from school, but there was a I called it the secret ninja path, because there's this little path that as you're walking down Patterson, you can hop over one of the little bumper things,
Mm-hmm.
and you weave between a couple trees and down an area, and it cuts the trip from that road to my apartment by like 20 minutes. It's a
Mm-hmm.
fantastic little secret path. But I would never wear shorts and take that path, because while it is a path, it was also not a forgiving path, and you would lose skin if you weren't wearing jeans.
Right.
I think that, and that there's like a bunch of different reasons, but it's hard to tell what is the actual reason and what's the justification for it at this point.
Right. I know I was a shorts kid. Like that was part of my identity to a fault growing up. And what I mean by that is that
You wore shorts in the cold weather too.
yeah, it was, or like if it was raining or whatever, like the shorts were part of the, like, part of how I identified to the point where it was something that I committed to in inconvenient situations
Yeah.
for no reason.
I mean, I would say same, but in reverse. Like if
Yeah.
it was stupidly hot, I'd still wear jeans unless someone told me I had to.
Right.
Wear shorts.
I'm now, it's kind of crazy because if you look at anything, if you know me at all, you know that I am by nature not a shorts kid. I run cold. I am fragile.
Don't touch my bits.
Yeah, I mean,
need
like
them covered.
I literally was made to be a pants kid. Who just, I don't know, was like, had some sort of weird toxic masculinity thing that made me a shorts kid, or something. I don't know if that's actually what it was. I haven't dug far enough into my own psyche to figure out what led to. But so what I'm trying to say is I understand.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of thing, like that. Growing up in the high school that I went to, the middle schools and high school that I went to, there were a lot of people who wore shorts way more often than I reasoned they should.
Right.
And I've asked that question, like, it is January.
Right.
And there was snow yesterday.
Right.
And you're at school with shorts on.
Yes.
And a hoodie. And I would ask that question, like, are your legs not cold? And the usual response was, not cold enough for me to want to put on pants. And I'm like, I don't understand that.
Right.
I'm wearing full pant legs and I am cold.
Right.
Still. I would not want a breeze anywhere.
Right.
Except maybe my knuckles.
Yeah, a knuckle breeze. Just a cool, calm knuckle breeze.
Yes, just like across the knuckles. That one's fine.
Yep.
My dad used to get like cocoa butter, or usually it's cocoa butter, and make sure every day when it was cold out, he would like smear it on my face so that I wouldn't get wind chapped.
That's a good father.
It was incredibly inconvenient and annoying when I was a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that is awesome. We got
yes, that is
comment in chat.
Cockbird. I have a large number of friends on the spectrum, and I actually knew someone who, once they did their like winter coat thing, that was their like the top, like the outfit would change underneath, but the winter coat was that winter coat for the next 5 months, which was fine. It was a very lovely winter coat. But yeah, I definitely see that.
I have a question, Mr. Albert, which
I love clothing.
Answer or not answer to your own convenience. I know for me, my attachment to my clothing, to the point where I would not transition with seasons or even like transition with any sort of external situation. Like I was so trenched in on much of it because it was so attached to my identity for me. and how I perceived myself. Like it was that was mine. Um, I was gonna ask if you feel the same way, but I see that you were talking about people on the spectrum and not yourself. So I'm sorry that I jumped to that conclusion. If you do have any feelings on clothing transition, I know just for me it was just like I didn't want to. It felt like I was leaving behind my identity. I don't know. Changing with the seasons felt so fluid to a point that my rigid understanding of myself was unable to accept.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do the until I would say until I started updating my wardrobe to be actually mature
Yeah.
in quotations.
Yeah.
Um, I I tried to mostly just wear the same type of thing all year round. Because again, that was sort of my identity. I
Yeah.
would wear long coats. I would wear black all weather coat,
Sounds like
which is the
you.
military version of a trench coat.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was long and flowy, which I didn't realize that I loved the idea of long and flowy back then. I mean, I did, but I didn't cognitively realize it. And it was also a military garment, which meant a lot to me because of my military family upbringing.
Right.
But other people would see it and go, Gabe looks like either a creepy vampire thing or like the more unfortunate side of it, where there was a handful of people who were like, he looks like a predator. I'm like, that's not where I was going with that, but fair.
Oof.
You wear a trench coat in public and people have issues with it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was like 14.
Yeah.
But that was like my garb, and I would intentionally wear it so that you could see I was clothed underneath. Like I wouldn't like bundle myself up and pop the collar. I would have it as a flowing garment. I'd wear it like a cape or an overcoat.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that. I would wear it during warm seasons. There was a lining within those of like a fake fur lining,
Yeah.
and I would take it off during the warm seasons because it would turn the coat into a wind tunnel when I would walk.
Right.
And it would actually keep me cool, and no one believed that.
Right.
Not a person believed it. I'm like, but I wouldn't be sitting here if I was sweating profusely.
Right. I know people have trouble with how cold I get.
Like how? And like,
yeah, and that's one of those
my
things
arms this wide across, man.
Yeah, I even if I wasn't this thin, like I just don't understand the not getting understanding that some people are just like run really cold, but I run really cold. Miss Stolbert has sent messages to us. Would you mind reading so I can one, not misunderstand things, and two, just kind of play through it?
Yes. So the first, in continuing, they're saying that they are indeed in the Asperger's neighborhood of the spectrum, and had 3 kids there too. Fantastic. I think identity can be I think identity can be a thing also. Sensory integration of feeling different if you have sleeves on or the wind blowing on your arm hair. It is different, and I think if you have problems turning off those sensations, it can distract you from other things. Which, yes, the same friend that I was talking about a moment ago, it was usually like a sensory thing with the coat, because they would get used to the feeling of the coat, like on their cheeks and things like that. And going out without it after doing it for like 3 months was uncomfortable for them. And then there was a mistype, but that was the message from their perspective. I was speaking from Miss Dogbert's eye.
Mm-hmm.
Also, is it Miss Dogbert? I just want to make sure that MS is Miss.
MS like Stolbert.
Micro syndromes Dogbert. Management systems Dogbert. You never know.
I
Microsoft.
love wrong plane. Uh, so much. It's hard to even convey how much I love that. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I don't. It's good to know that like I think it's important to know that
Oh yes, like the Dilbert character. Okay,
I think it's important to
Ms.
know that
Dogbert.
everybody has different reasons for why they why they are who they are, especially if they're doing something that's like I guess like viewed as countercultural. Like nobody's doing it. I shouldn't say nobody. Most people I would think are not doing it to be like controversial or to stand out. Um, a lot of times it's just to because it's comfortable. It's because it's comfortable. How's that so
Yeah,
crazy? um, but yeah, it's good to I think mine was not comfortable. Mine was identity for me. But it's also like everybody's different. Everybody has different reasons. Everybody has different approaches, and yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
Essentially, I'm
From my
evil.
my experience with people on the autism spectrum, sensory or senses like physical textures and things like that it is a very active and present driving force, because it's a different type of processing than people not on that spectrum. Um, so like feeling things, the seeing textures and stuff like that. It's a different sort of experience. So that can definitely make sense with clothes. And I didn't even think about the feeling wind on your arm hair, but I have actually expressed when I was interacting with a couple of people of the sister camp to the summer camp that I work at. We were just sharing, we were having a competition of who could share the weirdest survival fact. I don't know if I won. I don't think we were actually keeping track of who would win. But mine,
Nobody won. It was all losers.
yes, it was points don't matter. Points are like, no, I could have made a political joke, but I wasn't going to. Anyways, mine was that if you brush, intentionally make sure that all your arm hairs are brushed in the same direction, especially if you're wearing short sleeve shirts. And you can brush them with your hand type of thing. But if you make sure they're all brushed in the same direction, you will feel it very quickly if you touch something like a spider web or a branch. You feel it less quickly if they're in a sort of haphazard, if your arm hairs are crazy. But
That
if your
makes
arm hairs
sense.
are all in one direction, you'll feel it much faster if you touch a spider web, which when you're in big mountainous forests, spider webs can be slightly more dangerous and present.
I feel like that makes sense.
It's a real survival thing.
Yeah.
From mostly from my own practice and asking questions. I've never read that in a book,
Right.
but it certainly was one of the weirdest ones that was brought up there. So like that idea of like the sensations on your arms.
Yeah. I am at a good. Speaking of sensations on the arms, one of the worst sensations to have on your arms is the sensation of burnout. So, be sure to
Relax your arms.
yeah, relax. It takes
Just let them flop down. Hang
s-
them up to dry.
check. Make sure you got a loose jaw. Drink some water or sparkling water if you're me.
Oh yeah, please don't wait. Hydrate. Drink your water.
Don't revenge sleep. Actually, do what you do. Don't. I'm not your mom. Don't let me tell you what to do. But take care of yourself. I love you guys. For if you're feeling burnout, we're hitting that time. So I've pressed escape, as you can see, because we're doing Iron Man mode. It doesn't let me save. It auto saves at all times. So we're saved. We're ready to go if we decide to do this again next role saying games, which I'd love to. I hope you guys are kind of entertained by the brothers in the background that are living and dying for our entertainment digitally.
Did Zoom die at all? Or were you successful at keeping Zoom and what was the other one? And Banker alive?
Yeah, everybody's alive. We haven't had anybody die yet, so I haven't run into anything Like I haven't run into dire wolves or orcs or some of the things that will kill you pretty quick. So
or orc wolves or dire orcs.
oh, dude, there's goblins that ride dire wolves. Those things are
Oh yeah, I can imagine that's frustrating.
oh, it's a bad day.
Do you get to be on horses?
No, you never get to be on horses.
Well, then how do you combat goblins on dire wolves? I feel like
Honestly,
that's cheating.
spear wall, and archers.
Oh, there you go. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
I don't know if you've seen, but I've been. If you notice, all of my brothers on the front are
Uh-huh.
equipped with spears, except this guy who has a sword.
Yeah.
Meinolf. But
Meinolf.
yeah, I'm saying next time we're gonna let people name some more brothers, and we'll talk about some more stuff. But hey, if you're feeling burnout, please jump into Goblins and Growlers chat. Tag me and Gabe, sound guy, because we've experienced a burnout or two. I think everybody has. I think it's a universal feeling, and I really want to destigmatize some of the stuff that we need to do to take care of ourselves, especially during burnout. And I mean that from my own personal selfish perspective of I want to make sure that I hold myself more accountable to be better at communicating, because that's one of my biggest pitfalls that I have when I experience burnout. And for everyone else, if there's support that can be given, I know that our community wants to give it. I've seen people rally around each other in such a positive way that it has pulled me from my own burnout. So please, it's not taking advantage of a resource. It's collaborating together in a inclusive communal space to encourage and take care of each other. That's my speech.
Well put.
Thank you.
Very, very, very well put. Thank you so much, everyone who's hanging out with us in chat. Especially Ms. Dogbert for being open with us about that.
Heck yeah.
And who else? What was the other name? It's the same color. Ms. Dogbert and the man sedan.
Man sedan.
Because it's the same color and it all starts with an M. So I was like, is that a different person at first? Indeed it is. And Dr. Glaucon.
And Glaucon. Glaucon.
Glaucon, I believe. It's
and
like
optional rule is here early. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for jumping in. We're tune in next time to see if Banker the Gross gets brutally murdered. Right now he has some I don't know if
the grossest.
He does have some from our last battle, some cut arm sinew.
Ew.
Sinew. So,
sinew.
Yeah, just
sinew.
a partially cut arm sinew, which makes it difficult to put force into any strike.
Oh, it's true. It would indeed be difficult.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, tune in. We'll continue to take our brothers through the battles.
The brothers through the battles, and our hearts and minds through, hopefully,
like
burnout and back
through 25 plus 100 hours of Football Manager.
Yeah, that is very impressive. To like, I can definitely see the slight embarrassment behind it, but I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'm impressed.
I'm both.
Be proud of how terrifying that is.
I whenever I see that number,
that is a skill set.
Yeah, there's a piece of me that I sit there and I say I'm grateful for that, because I know I play it because I love it, or to a degree. Love is a strong word. It holds a weird place in my heart. That's the I enjoy it, but also there's a piece of me that's like, what could I have done with 2,500 hours? Man.
It's not so much what could you have done. It's be thankful that you spent it doing something as amazing as that.
Right. Heck yeah, let's go Leicester City. Come saw you foxes. Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm going to buy you a football team. I don't know which
I'm
one.
ready. I'm so prepared to.
You're the most prepared.
Manage this football. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Role saying games. We're gonna continue to get real. We're gonna get real saying games.
Real slaying games.
And honestly, we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you for tuning in and for sharing with us and being part of the show.
Yeah, being part of the community. being our online neighbors. Little hearts to you all.
Yeah, let's do little hearts on our way out. I never know how to end.
It's little hearts, and then you sneakily click it, and you go, and it goes away.
Yeah, next time I'm going to force one of us to sing. Actually, we'll both sing. Love you guys.
We can sing.